So we're going to talk to you about gardening, and we got some of your questions. So let's talk about first, like just our own gardening experience. Did you grow up gardening?
Yes.
Okay. Tell us about it.
Well, we've always had a little patch over with some tomatoes and cucumbers. Remember horseradish was sometimes being grown. A few different things. Moved around, so different soil. But anytime we went back to Kentucky, where my grandparents were at, my dad's aunt, she had a garden. It was a large garden, and then of course my great grandmother had like an acre. It seemed like that was everything that you would normally see: pole beans and corn, and tomatoes, and more than enough for her table and enough for her can and stuff. So.
Hey, whoever just jumped on, say hi so we know who it is that you're there. Would you tell a story about eating the cucumber straight out of the garden?
Oh yeah, I was at my Aunt Helen's house and stayed overnight, and they were working the garden, weeding, doing all your daily chores. And I always remember sitting there on a bucket, kind of messing around, but she knew it was, it was in between breakfast and lunch. So she just popped off a cucumber and got the little prickers off of it, and then just handed it to me so I could eat it while I watched them, tool away at the garden, which is always a fun memory. And I still love cucumbers.
Did you know that I didn't know cucumbers had little thingies on the outside? Mm-hmm. Did you guys know that cucumbers have little spikes on the outside? I didn't know that until I grew my own garden. So we moved a lot, but we always, my parents almost always set up a garden everywhere we lived. And I remember particularly one year that the zucchini grew really well. And we had zucchini everything, zucchini cookies, zucchini bread. I don't even know what can you make zucchinis into. My mom figured out how to make
pasta,
something with zucchini. A lot of zucchinis. Okay, so if you guys are out there and you're a gardener, drop like a little plant or something below so I can see that you guys already garden. If you don't garden, put a cactus down below. That was my first plant too, cactus.
Or a skull.
Oh, that's cool. That's good.
Some people are like little plant reapers. They
I am.
Don't look at the house plants.
Or little house plants.
Yeah, they just have a natural tendency to bring death to plants.
Some people do.
So that's why I like that.
Yeah. So that's our gardening experience. Do you have anything else to want to say about your gardening experience?
No.
Okay, so why do you want to garden? Why do you like to garden personally?
Yeah, it's relaxing. It's rewarding. Having the buffet of vegetables and different things that that you've taken from, a little tiny seed packet and actually taken it all the way through its growth stages, and it produces, and you get to enjoy the outcome. Yeah, I guess it's kind of like kids.
You said fun too.
Yeah.
When we talked about this.
Yeah, it's fun. I think it's fun because you don't know what you're going to get. Like I got a hold of a scorpion pepper and a ghost pepper. And of course, held up was cayennes. I'm going to be working on a spicy kind of powder, for seasoning chili and other such. But I'm really tempted to see how these ghost and scorpion peppers end up, on top of jalapenos and other basic peppers.
Maybe that's not because I'm not sure what it is very well. Okay, we both kind of talk low sometimes.
Can you hear me? Yay. Okay.
Thumbs up if you can hear us. Okay, hopefully you can. Okay. So I love the concept and idea of growing my own food. I've always wanted to grow my own food. I did try to grow my own food in Houston once, and it amounted to about almost $1,000 and everything dying. I think I forgot to water one day, or just was exhausted and didn't water one day. Whatever the reason was, I didn't water and everything died. But that wasn't the whole problem, because I built these raised beds. I brought in all this beautiful dirt and soil. I cultivated it. I planted. I watered. You have all this hope, and then everything just doesn't produce anything. That was my experience. It just didn't really produce anything. So I tried that like 2 or 3 years in a row. And then you have to. The worst part is at the end of the season, you have to go in there and pull all the weeds out. What are you going to do about weeds? I hope you got that on handle, because I hate pulling weeds. It gets so big and high, and it's backbreaking work. And then I had to bring the tiller in and till it all up again. It was a nightmare. So I gave up.
Yeah, trees that I lost straw. That will be to come because I'm in the process of building some other raised beds because I want to grow this with carrots and beets and radishes and starting to build my raised beds so I have more space next year. Other than I got 4 towers planted this year, similar to the one behind me. This is our indoor one. This grows all of our microgreens and lettuces, as you can probably see. Yeah, I mean, we cut off of it. I'm getting ready to probably start seed for it again because we'll eat this and then juice it and do all those other fun, healthy things with it. But it's easy.
There's a lot of plants on
And
it.
it saves money, and I know where it's coming from. There's no pesticides. The seeds I buy, I prefer to buy are organic, non-GMO. So in that, I mean, you go to the store, they may charge you a little extra, or you got to try and figure out where they're coming from and if they even carry the organics, as they call them.
Organic is becoming more available, at least in our areas, but it's still really limited. I like the fact it is less expensive. I like the fact that we have control over our food supply. And by that, I mean, not just what we get to grow, because I think one of the most exciting things is growing a variety of fruits and vegetables that don't exist in the grocery store. Things I've never seen before in my life. And we're really like on the hunt for finding more and more things that are heirloom and, you know, that you just can't find anymore, because I want the stuff that's not been hybridized. I want the stuff that was original, the way that it was original. Plus, there's so many beautiful things out there. But I also like having control over, I know who's handled my food. I know who's touched my food. I know what's happened with my food. And I know I always have food. There was a time not too long ago, like a year ago, where it was questionable if we were going to get food, who was touching our food, you know, all kinds of things like that. And I thought, you know what? I have my gardens, I have my Berkey water, I have my powdered produce, and I'm good to go. So I knew I would be healthy and fed and hydrated no matter what. So let's see what other reasons. I guess that's it. Oh, you know what though? I have this vision of just like growing this garden with these beautiful archways and my grandchildren coming in and going through like the tunnel and food hanging down everywhere and us getting baskets and picking food and going in and prepping it and making dinner and doing things like that. Same thing I wanted to do with my kids.
Which means I have to figure out a way to build it.
That's right.
Is what that translates to.
Okay. So what are we already growing? You want to start with that? That's true. You have to.
I have a laundry list of things. Easier way to show you. I made a seed chart. These are all different rows of stuff. It's 4 towers worth. And when I say towers, it's our tower gardens. So they get about 20 plants per tower without the extension. And in that, I'm growing beans, tomatoes. I'm going to try some cabbage on the very bottom of it. I'm putting marigolds on the top because not just for the flowers to attract the bees and pollinators, but you can also eat the flower heads and make tea out of them for salads. Oh, geez. I have eggplant, tomatoes and squash and all kinds of good stuff. So
we live in the Houston area. Do you want me to turn that off? It's going to be too loud. People are going to have trouble hearing us anyway. Oh, sorry. Okay, so we live in the Houston area, which is like zone 8 and 9. So it gets really, really hot here. Not as dry as like living in Arizona, but it's definitely hot. So that's our water feature. Okay. So next up, next question. What other types of gardens are we growing? Like what we have a concept, like, you know, gardens can grow with you. So we're going to start with, we have our tower gardens already. We have 5 of them and plus the indoor one. So we're definitely going to start with tower gardens, a couple of tower gardens, right? Last year we did some container gardening. We're going to do some more container gardening.
Yeah, more
okay, let's talk about containers first. What are we going to grow in containers?
So for the food grade containers, going to do potatoes. We have 4 different kinds of potatoes to try in those. Tomatoes. do well in containers. I have a whole slew of different
What
ones.
about carrots or beets? Or
The carrots and beets, I'm going to grow more in a trough because the carrots need to be
What's a
deeper,
container?
where the beets need less. Yeah, less. They just need some dirt, like 4 to 6 inches. And then I started my sweet potatoes
will you
and
grow these in
started getting the
containers as well?
slips. And then we got the other vines started. And yes, these will be in larger tubs or a box kind of raised bed. So
Broccoli, microgreens, right here, this container. So we also are growing in containers like this. These are going to be they're microgreens. Those are broccoli microgreens. I have a video about microgreens and why you want to eat them. They're much more nutritious. I just want to say hello to Heather and Carol and Cherry. Thanks for joining us. So what other kind of containers? Oh, where's the other container? Go ahead.
other containers, I'm going to actually build some other raised bed containers. This is one we got for a display.
But we're going to grow in it too,
But
right?
also going to grow in it because it's deep enough to grow, like I said, beets. A lot of things you just have to read the information that's on the back of the package or Google it. And then as far as where you live, there's a little color-coded map that usually helps too. It tells you when to either sow seed or you can actually check with your local nursery, not Lowe's, not Home Depot. I mean, they're good, but I'm told that it's coming up.
That question's coming up. Okay, so we're going to do raised beds. Are we doing raised beds this year?
Yeah, as far as the buckets, I won't have the big ones built.
Okay. So we're going to definitely do containers. We have 5-gallon buckets and some other like bigger trough type buckets and then different kinds of troughs and things that he's going to build. Then of course, different kinds of pots. And then of course our tower gardens, right? We also have 3 fruit trees in the backyard.
Yeah, I don't know if the lemon made it to the
He
freeze.
has definitely an heirloom lemon that was passed on to him from his grandmother, but we're not sure about it yet. Great grandmother. We also have a fig tree and pomegranate, which shout out to Growers Outlet, which I'm sure we'll talk more about in a second.
Yeah, can't talk about
Yeah, no, that's coming up.
It's coming up.
You can talk about it now.
It's on the list.
So what's coming up, I'm just going to skip to it. It's about like where to get plants and seeds. And I think well, I'm not going to let my husband tell you.
About Growers
Outlet is a local nursery. I was going to say, look for your local nurseries. And you were saying not Lowe's, not like, go ahead.
Yeah, go find your one that's by you, around you. They're more likely, one, to be friendlier and should be friendly. Ours is very friendly and very knowledgeable staff. And they deal with your area in particular. So it doesn't matter if you're here in the Houston area or if you're in Arizona, like a charity. If you go talk to your local nurseries, they'll have a little bit better idea on what works best in your area.
And places like Growers Outlet, they won't even have things that aren't supposed to be planted during that time. Or if you go to Lowe's, I'll use them as an example, they are somewhat seasonal, but not that much. It's like you can get trees all year round there, and you shouldn't plant trees all year round. We get fruit trees and things that are indigenous to our area that grow well in our area and are available when it's time to plant them. And you also can find seed suppliers that do the same thing.
Yes. Yeah. And a lot of them will ask you, there again, you won't have to know on like which zone you're in necessarily, because they will ask you. Because if you go plug it in and put your planting zone and then put your zip code in there, it will come up with, the region you're in, whether it's 8A or B or what are we? It depends which packet I'm looking at.
Well, it's somewhere between,
So,
I wrote it down, somewhere between 9A and 8A is where we are.
right. Yeah. Yeah.
It's still hot in the summer, really, really hot in the summer. Okay, so another thing about container gardens or our outdoor tower gardens is they're mobile. So if you're getting too much sun or you're not getting enough sun, you can move them. You can control the water much better. The tower gardens grow like water themselves. You just have to check on them, which is fantastic. That is like, I was so excited when my company came out with tower gardens, because then I could forget watering.
Yeah, as long as, yeah, you do have to like, just kind of give it an eyeball and make sure the pump's running.
Yeah.
Yeah, if that pump goes, it's usually, if you let it go more than 2, 3 days, you just have to check on it. It's like anything.
Yeah, you need to look at your garden every day, no matter what, I think.
Plants like it too. You gotta talk to them and sing.
There's some
It's
truth to that.
important. Sing to your plants. They like that.
I'll videotape Eric. I say videotape. I'll record Eric singing to the plants. Okay, so I also I love our indoor tower because of juicing microgreens. I love microgreens and baby greens, and I get so excited every day when I get to go cut my own greens for whatever I'm making, whether it be juice or smoothies or salads. You cut your own salad today.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Grandkids. I can have people over for like a dinner party and everybody can cut their own salad or just a lunch or something. That's so fun to me.
Yeah, the oldest
Part of the fun.
granddaughter, she does that with her mom because they have the tower as well, and she loves to come over and pick her own with shishi so they can, when making dinner.
Okay, so we talked about zones, we talked about what to grow when, we talked about local growers. So we had an experience last year. We had one of our tower gardens up on the porch, which is great, except for we had a little issue. You want to share with everybody what it was?
Yeah. Anyone who lives in a zone that has mosquitoes know how much of a pain but they can be. So trying to get rid of them, I found something that worked really awesome. These little coils, like incense kind of things that would burn. But the side effect is that, you do them enough because we like sitting outside. No bees, no flies, no mosquitoes, which I was going for, would come near the plants. Therefore, they weren't getting pollinated enough. I mean, I even tried to self-pollinate them, and that was the only time I got fruit off of them, which was frustrating. So that's why also this year I went ahead, plot some marigolds.
Marigolds, flowers attract bees, but certain ones like marigolds actually keep other insects away too. Not that you have much problem with that on the tower, but other
Yeah,
plants.
No, on the porch I'm going to grow some like mint and spearmint. They're like two things that keep away mosquitoes naturally.
Probably cilantro, catnip. I don't know. I'm guessing.
Catnip.
Oh no, never mind. Okay, so bees, you need bees. I don't know that much about gardening. Look, I have tower gardens. I've been growing for 8 years with tower gardens. You don't have to know that much about gardens when you grow a tower garden. I'm so grateful for tower gardens because it allowed me to finally feed my family from my own backyard without having to be talented at it. I'm not going to tell you that it's just super easy because you still have to look at it. You have to do things. It's not perfect. You still have to get into the rhythm and figure out what grows when and where and all that kind of stuff. But it's so much easier than the other kind of gardening. I just have to pop the plants out at the end of the season and pop new ones in. And they have become these little baskets or clips basket. See, there's no soil. So you never have to weed. Well, in the house, there's completely no insects, but outside you can completely control your insects. I just love it. It's got earth and sea minerals. And for those of you who know us, you know that we're Disney fans. Oh, I want to say hi, Nikki. Hey, Nikki. Welcome. And I remember growing up and I remember going to Disney at Epcot after it opened, which was, I don't know, something. Oh, in 1980 something. Okay, good. And I remember thinking, oh, wow, like there's these huge watermelons and things hanging and growing. And I remember thinking, gosh, one day we're going to grow our food like that. Well, fast forward a lot of years and 10 years, 8 years ago, my company acquired Tower Garden. And Tower Garden was developed by Tim Blank, who is the head horticulturist at the Epcot Land Exhibit. And we used the same earth and sea mineral formula that they used there. This was technology that was designed, at Epcot in conjunction even with NASA to be able to grow food in small spaces anywhere. It uses 10% of the space, which means you grow 90% more in a smaller space, right? In the same amount of space that you would grow 90% more. And then it only uses 2% of the water. And it's like running you make money on this thing, honestly, when you're growing your own food, because it's like running a light bulb. That's it. Like it's not energy expensive either.
A little more than light bulb.
I don't know. They did an energy factor on it. It's like, well, the one outside one, I've never seen one for this one.
I was going to say that the pump during
the outside one is like running a light bulb.
Okay, old school light bulb, like flood lamp. We're not talking LED light bulbs, which
I don't know. It doesn't cost you a lot of money though.
no, definitely does not. But it's just the
This is
LED
husband
light
and
bulb.
wife.
Sorry.
The electrician and came out.
Yeah. But behind the scenes, yeah, everything's vertical, and yeah, all that space instead of our dining room being filled, it's just taken up a little bit in the corner. And then outside, that's what I'm going to do along the fence, is run the electrical for them. Normally, it's just an extension cord, so it's not really like running electrical. It's just running a good extension cord.
And just definitely follow me on Instagram and follow me on YouTube, because you can keep up with our process as we're moving through it, because it's going to be a journey. It's not going to be once and done. I don't think when you're building a garden, it is anyway. I think it takes time. And we've only lived in this house. This is going to be our second summer here, so we're still getting used to growing things here as well. But before we wrap it up, I just wanted to see if anybody out there has any questions. If you do, just pop them down in the chat and we'll answer them. If you're watching this on the replay, still pop them down in the chat and we'll come back and answer them later. Hey, Jeannie, welcome. I have to look down here on my iPad to see who, well, it might be Eric's iPad. I'm not sure.
Did you put the walkthrough on the side of the house just to show the grass?
Yeah, I did a reels and a story on it. I haven't done a video on it yet.
Oh, yes, we'll have to do a video. Or you can go dig through it on the reels. Yeah.
Once we get the, we're going to plant the beans. You want to grab the beans up there, Sean?
Sure.
I didn't want him to escape. So no questions. You love your tower garden? Do you have plants growing yet, Nikki? Look at these beans.
Pole beans and peas.
These peas, I feel like there's a
so yes, there's plant. 21 plants right here. So they will cover an entire tower, and
each one of them is growing up in one of these little guys right here.
They need to go out next week.
So no other questions? Any other questions about gardening, container gardening, raised bed gardening, tower gardening, anything, microgreens, baby greens, sprouts,
and yes, you
root
can
vegetables,
anything that just is a non-root vegetable in the tower garden. So and it's the aeroponic, so things grow a lot faster, and you can get your harvest. So what we got? So
Nikki says you already got your seedlings started, Nikki? Awesome. Did you order them or did you start them from seed? And Jeannie said she's got you want to show her some of my plants? She's got not a green thumb. Here's one of my plants, Jeannie.
I watered it earlier, so it's doing a little better, but as you see, it was on the border of death and I could not let it die.
So that's why I love tower garden. Because I even went away one time, and I guess the power got tripped, and all my little plants in my tower garden were all drooping. All I did was flip the switch, and they popped right back up. So, I mean, if they were like a week or so like that, they'd probably die. But they still, because they still have moisture, they just didn't die. So it's so much easier, so much less backbreaking, so much less time consuming, so much more success than traditional gardening. I love my tower gardens. I'm so grateful that I can do tower gardens. You liked my plan, huh? So you started them from seed. Good for you. Are we planting onions? Do you have onions growing right now?
Actually, yes, I do have. I planted some onions. I planted some shallots already. They're out in another big bucket style planter. I just follow the instructions on the.
But you put them in a bucket, a deep bucket, right? Did you start from seed or did you start from? Or do these?
No, they're little starter shallots. And
do they come with?
They even give you a handy dandy measuring device on there.
They come with little shallot onions, little baby onions.
Told me when to start it, and they're already got about little greens on them.
So we're doing the sweet potatoes, which take 4 months, by the way. You want to hand me that again? So you take these off the potato and they sprout, and this is what the potatoes grow from. And they actually run, right?
Yeah, all their tubers come off of the roots.
Up down.
So each time one of these things starts sending down another root,
that's how it works.
It will start. Sweet potatoes go on the line, like if you picture one string with little knots on it.
Yeah.
That's a sweet potato. Potatoes the seed potato will go up, and then it puts the little potatoes off.
Like
On
if
this
you
side.
put it down, the bottom of the potatoes grow up like that, right?
Yeah, that's why I'll grow like 2, maybe 3 in a 5-gallon bucket, and
At the most.
yeah,
Because you kind of want your potatoes to be biggish. too.
right.
Now, I will tell you that in the raised bed, the only thing I had success with ever was the potatoes. I did grow enough potatoes to actually eat, but nothing else.
We got them. Actually, those I got them at Lowe's.
We actually did get those at Lowe's.
Tractor Supply will carry them. You just kind of got to dig around and look.
You can also keep your own potatoes and use them as sweet potatoes. You know, don't throw away your sprouting potatoes. Hang on to them and use them. You can do the same thing with onions, can't you? Yeah, I think you could like quarter up onions and no? I think there's a way to propagate onions. I don't know.
I've grown more for the green, so I'll say the bottom third.
Yeah, for sure.
We got it to root and kind of experimented with that last year on here. Look, I even have romaine, like left a little bit of romaine and it re-sprouted the top. So
that's about all you'll get out of that though. But you can take another bite of lettuce or two. So it's
more
fun.
than I had if I would have just threw it away. I mean, it's fun. So
all right. What else you guys got? Any other questions? This is fun. I like answering questions. It's a lot more fun. I'm just sitting here talking to our screen. So I don't see anything else. Did we answer your question, Jeannie? Did that help? Okay, so let's give it a second here to make sure that they don't have any more questions. Yay! Well, I hope you guys have found value in this. We enjoy doing this. Let us know what you want us to talk about. We can talk about relationships, marriage. We can talk about Disney and adulting at Disney.
Yeah.
We can talk about, I don't know, whatever. We're going to keep you updated on gardening. So awesome, Jeannie. So awesome. Well, thank you again for joining us. I am going to upload this on my YouTube channel. So if you're not yet subscribed, please do. Oh, there is one more thing. If you actually want more information on tower gardening, what I want you to do is text your name and TG101. It's fine. I'll put it in the comments too.
Okay.
To this phone number, 409-240-9970. And you'll get a little mini class to your cell phone that will give you just like a little trail of information that you can follow and learn all you want to learn yourself about tower gardening. And yeah, I guess that's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
For now.
Woohoo! Well, thank you again. Subscribe. If you enjoyed this, please put a like or a thumbs up if you're on Facebook. Thank you.
Thank you, Jane.
Thank you. We love being loved here. So thank you for doing that. So, and then if you're seeing us on YouTube, definitely hit that subscribe button. Share with your friends. Help us to reach and talk to more people.
And plan a good like for us. So yeah, we can make more.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Bye, guys.
Remember, if you want more information on Tower Garden, text TG101 to 409-240-9970. And as always, please hit that subscribe and notification bell. You can also find us on Instagram.